Hello everyone, you're welcome back to our CSS compressed course training, and I am your instructor Daniel Shonuga. So in today's class we are going to be looking at the CSS box model, right? So the box model consists of various elements that we use to style our HTML documents, and the first one we're going to be looking at is the border. Right, and the border property styles the edge around the box, and it is specified as thickness, style, color. It uses the border color, the border width, and the border style. So let's quickly take a look at how we can actually use this border in our design or in our code, right? So I've defined a class which is container, and then I'm going to start using it. So I have this here presently. Let me just go ahead and just clear all this out. I'm going to be leaving. Okay, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to make this, let's say, 500 pixel. I'm going to give it an height of 600 pixel. So let me just go ahead and view this on the browser. All right. So I'm just going to view this on the browser. Alright, so yeah, this is what I have on the browser. I have this text, and now I want to show you how we can use the border property and see how it looks like here. So let me just go back to my VS Code, and then I use the border. The first one we're going to be looking at is border width, which defines the width we want the border to look like. And remember, I place the external style width, right? So we have the border width. I've given it 1 pixel, so just to see how it looks like. Then the next one we have is the border style, which is I'm going to be using solid. And then I'm going to be using the last one is going to be the border color. Then I'm going to be making this. Let's go with red, just to make it more obvious. As you can see, this here is the border, right? That is a line outside, external to the content of your element. That basically just where your div or where your content is presently occupying, right? This is what the border is, all right? And then we can actually make this shorter. Instead of writing 3 styles or 3 lines, just make this border. We can just make a shorthand of it, and we can simplify it to become 1 line. So I'm going to do border just like this, and then we're going to simplify it to 1 pixel, which is the width, solid, which is the style that the style we specified, and then the color, the border color that we specified, which is red, right? So when I save this, make sure you save this and then you refresh your browser. You can see that I still have the same thing, and now I don't need to break this down to 3 lines in order for me to just style my border. Okay. So before going to the margins, let me just you can also decide to make your border or to style your border just to be in one particular place, not just to be in every place. Right? What I mean by that is this. You have this now. Our border is presently occupying the top, the right, the bottom, and the left, right? And let's say, for example, I want to just have the border on this right hand side only. I can come here to my VS Code, and then I can just change this because it uses the 4 angle, the top, right, bottom, and left. So I'm going to change this to right instead first, and see that this is actually reflecting. So you can see now I'm only having the border on the right. If I'm going to change that to left, I can also do the same for top and for bottom as well. Right, so that's how it works. And then we're going to be looking at the margin, and the margin sits outside the edge of the border, right? It sits outside the edge of the border, and you can set the width of the margin to create a gap between borders of 2 adjacent boxes. So let's just look at how it works. All right, I'm going to be working with 2 different I'm going to be having this as a container, and I'm going to be creating a sub div. of let me just do class box 1, just for us to have two different divs, right? I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this and name it box 2. So remember that since we're using class, we're going to be using dots to call them at this point. So I'm going to be using dot box 1 and then comma dot box 2, because I'm trying to type both of them together. So dot box 2. So what I want is, I want it to have a margin. But before I do that, let me first give it a background color so that it is obvious. I'm going to give it the background color of red. I'm going to give it a border of 1 pixel solid black, so it is obvious. Let's see this in our browser. Right, we have this, and these are those two that we have here, but presently we are not seeing any. Everything is jumbled together, and in order for us to separate this, what we have to use, or what we can use, is the margin that we just looked at now. So you can specify margin for both of them, so you can decide if it is margin top or bottom or left or right, just like the border zone. So if I decide just margin top, I can make it probably like 12 pixel like this, and when I see it on my browser, you can see that now it has a spacing between them now. So that is what the margin is. The margin is like an external spacing around the content, right? That is what the margin is in context. So we have the margin shorthand, which is similar to what I just looked at now. The margin shorthand is just instead of writing just for top or just like this, what you can just do is just define margin on its own like this, and then you can just do, if I do 12 pixel like this and 0, so this is just going to affect the top and the bottom, and this area is just for the left and right. So since we have 0 here for the left and right, we're not going to be seeing any horizontal spacing, but instead we'll be seeing only vertical spacing. So as you can see, it's still the same thing as we have before, right? So that is how the margin works. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is the padding. And the padding properties allows you to specify how much spacings should appear between the content of an element and its border. So you note it said between its content, the content of an element and its border. Margin is an external spacing, while padding is an internal spacing. And I'm going to be showing you this without cancelling what is here already. So I'm going to be specifying padding like this, right? And I'm going to do 12 pixel once more. Note that I'm not going to put anything beside it. Let's just do 12 pixel and we'll see it. Can you see the difference between it? Previously there wasn't any breathing space for this text, for this content and the border, but now you can see there's a spacing between them, and that is what the padding does. It gives it an internal spacing between the content and the border. Alright, so we can look at also the padding shorthand, just like the margin shorthand, which is by specifying, if I specify to like this 15 like this pixel, 12, I'm having 12 pixels for top and bottom and 15 pixels for left and right. That is why they call it the shorthand, because it does this for both of them. But now let's now go one step further, and let's say I want to do the 4 corners without using padding top, left, right, bottom, right? So I can do like this 12. I can do another one 12 pixel. So this first one is the top. This next one is the right. This one is the bottom. And I can then do 8 for the left. Then let's see it. So can you see that this is now adjusted because now this is 8, right? That's why they call it a shorthand, because you can actually write a lot of things on just one line. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the box model. And the box model, all elements are treated as boxes on the browser. That's how they are treated. If you notice, in all the containers we're looking at, you can see it's just like a box, it's like a square, right? And all boxes contain the contents, the padding, the border, and the margin. So the content is basically probably text. The padding is the spacing between the content and the border, right? That was what you see. That's why we were seeing when we applied padding, we're seeing like an extra spacing here. And then the border is like a thickness around the contents, but that is right just after the padding. And then the margin is like an external spacing, which is just outside the border, right? So that is it for this video, and then we are going to be moving to the next section, which is looking at the CSS box sizing properties of the box model. And thank you very much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you once more again in the next video. Thank you.